Today, I'm on the white sandy beaches of Seaside Beach, Florida. And as you might have guessed by the title of this video, today we're gonna check out the filming locations for the 1999 classic starring Jim Carrey, The Truman Show.
Coming to you now from the largest studio ever constructed, it's The Truman Show!
Seaside Beach, just so you know, is actually on a beach. And The Truman Show was one of my favorite movies growing up. In fact, when I would cut grass or do something to earn some money, on many occasions, way more than I could even count, I took that money and went to a Blockbuster or a movie gallery and rented the movie The Truman Show. Now that movie is on Netflix, so it's a lot easier to watch, but it was always a favorite of mine growing up, and I am ecstatic to be able to be here in the same spot where they filmed it. Of course, in the movie, the dome that Jim Carrey was living in was supposedly in California, but it's not. It's right here in Florida, right near Fort Walton Beach, Florida, in fact. A lot of the town has been redone or upgraded since 1999 when the filming shot. They now have palm trees all around it, but this is the grassy knoll area. At the very beginning of the movie, there's an aerial shot that pans over of the giant field of grass there.
Classical fly with classical drive, so why don't you forget about the perils of flying? Settle back and let this music calm you down.
You may recognize this area. Right here on this beach is where Truman and Sylvia shared their first kiss. And right down there by the yellow flag is the entrance where her father, which really wasn't her father, come over the top of the hill in his car, drove down the beach, forced her into the car where she left her jacket behind, and then Truman held on to it until his adult age, reminiscing about his time with Sylvia.
Woo! Please keep your hands inside the car!
Yeah. Lawrence, sweetheart, not again.
This is also the same area where Truman is sitting in the sand and thinking about his dad, and then it just starts raining on him.
Oh.
When would you like to leave?
Today.
Here's the shot that you can't forget. In fact, right here, the sign would not have been here, but there would have been some bushes here, and Truman would have drove his car and parked it right here in front of that tower.
Sorry about that, folks. I guess we picked up a police frequency or something. It sometimes happens, and it can drive you crazy. Okay, it's classical climb back in here, and we've still got some great music up ahead, but hey, we get the buck.
In the movie, this would be Lancaster Square in real life. It's Central Square.
Okay, he's making his turn onto Lancaster Square.
You see that there is a lot going on, and there's a lot of people. And after the movie was released, Seaside has become a very popular tourist destination.
Come in, Major Burbank.
He's back to his old self. Oh my God. That's an unusual cat, my man.
I hereby proclaim this planet Trumania of the Burbank Galaxy.
When Truman's learning about what's going on, as he's trying to figure it out, he looks over to see his best friend, who was a fake vending machine delivery guy. He sees his truck parked right here, so Truman runs over into this market. Truman's buddy would have been over here stocking the vending machines.
Harley! Truman, what are you doing here?
I gotta talk to you.
It's a bad time, okay? I'm way behind.
I'm onto something, Marlon. Something big.
And the ladder's still here in place. In the movie, you can see the guy standing on the ladder.
How about those two?
And in fact, the guy that was standing on that ladder is the owner of that shop. The owner's wife can also be seen in the shop as an extra during that scene.
Who?
It's hard to tell. They look just like regular people.
This alleyway was used a bunch in the movie. I'm about right here, but it has changed a whole lot since 1999.
They go around the block. They come back. They go around again. They just go round and round. Round and round.
And here we've reached one of the more famous scenes from that movie, although it looks a tad bit different. This is where Truman pulls up and goes around and around and around and around in circles until they get sick, when he cuts off to go down this way.
Truman, where are we going?
Really no. Guess I'm being spontaneous. Somebody help me! I'm being spontaneous!
Truman!
Forget Fiji. Can't very well drive to Fiji, can we? What about Atlantic City?
Oh, no, you hate to gamble.
That's right, I do, don't I?
So why would you want to go there?
Because I never have. That's why people go places, isn't it?
Truman, I think I'm gonna throw up.
Me too!
Truman would have pulled up right in here, and they had all these driveways where all the cars just jumped out of them, and a big vehicle pulled blocking this way, so Truman couldn't get out. So he punched it in reverse back up to the roundabout.
Locked it every turn. Beautifully synchronized, don't you agree? We could be stuck here for hours. It could be like this all the way to Atlantic City. Let's go back. I'm sorry. I don't know what got into me.
Can you please slow down?
Yes, I can.
After Truman backs up, he goes around the roundabout a few more times and immediately comes back down the same exact road here, only to find that all of the cars that were blocking his way just 1 minute prior, they were all gone.
Truman, that got turned off.
I changed my mind. What's New Orleans like this time of year? Mardi Gras! Look, Farrell. Same road. No cars. It's magic.
magic. You let me out, Truman. You're not right in the head. You want to destroy yourself, you do it on your own.
I think I'd like a little something.
Truman, that got turned off.
I changed my mind. What's New Orleans like this time of year? Mardi Gras! Look, Farrell. Same road. No cars. It's magic.
And probably the most important scene of the entire movie is right here behind us. This was Truman's house. Truman would stand right in front of the door there.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
The physical address for this is 31. 36 is still up on the house though, left over from the movie. You see it says the Truman house.
Good morning.
Truman would have parked his car right in here.
Morning, Truman. Morning, Spencer. Hey, Pluto. Oh, no. Get down.
And right over here, the Dalmatian would have jumped up on him.
He won't hurt you. Get down. Yeah, I know. It's just me. Come on, Pluto.
Every time he exited his house, he always spoke to the neighbors across the street.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
I love how all the roads are still this brick stuff here, just like they were in the movie. Which that and the brightly colored pastel buildings is why they chose this location to film it. And besides this front gated area, the house pretty much looks exactly the same. It's all covered up now, but right over here on the front of the house, that's where he would have dug the hole where he escaped from.
The lawn cam. Give me the lawn cam. Don't look in the camera. Say something. Keep it going. Keep it going. He's gone.
His buddy would have come driving, squealing his tires around the corner and down the street when they suspected that Truman had escaped. The piece of light that fell from the ceiling, obviously we're not in a dome, but the light would have fallen, it would have landed right in here. He would have picked it up where it had Cirrus something written across the top of it. I'm not trying to rub it in because I know a lot of the country right now is freezing, but today here in Florida and in Alabama, it is in the mid to upper 70s. It is just an absolutely beautiful day. I know it looks nothing like it now, but they built, just for the movie, a front facade on the outside of these buildings over here. They were painted all the same that said Sea Haven College on the front of it. You can see where Meryl and Truman, where Meryl bumps into Truman, they actually fall back down and sit on that concrete plant holder there. They had different plants in it at the time, but they actually sit there.
Okay. Excuse me. Hi. Hi. I'm so sorry I fell on you like that.
That's okay.
I've been such a klutz all day.
All right.
And right here at this tree, this is where Sylvia was sitting, staring back and forth at Truman. That's the tree right there. Fun fact, you see the sign right here behind me, it says Rubio Architects. It's not a real company. They put that up for the movie and they've left it here for all these years. And it's still in really good shape from 1998 until now. It does not sit by the water. It has been relocated to the tennis courts here, but he decides to purchase a ticket to leave the island. That ticket booth is right here. You don't get to see too much of the ticket booth because basically Truman walks up and then the camera angle immediately changes to face from the inside of the cabin looking out at Truman as he's going to board the boat. That's it. That's the ticket booth right there.
Hello? Are you still here, huh? I might have missed it.
One way or return?
Return.
There you go, sir.
And also, the same ticket booth, you can see it around Sea Haven here and there several times throughout the movie. This is also that same spot where the ticket booth was. This is where they built the set for that scene. It was just built for the movie and it was tore right back down after they completed the filming. Right out here along this dock, they partially sunk a boat so he would look at it and think of his dad. They have revamped it and sloped it down now. But after Truman escapes, the search parties walk right through this field holding arms as they're looking for him. The stretch of road that we're driving on right now, this is the road that Truman goes on when he's trying to drive out of town with Meryl. He comes this way before eventually getting stopped because there's a leak at the plant.
Truman, what about that sign?
They're exaggerated. We'll be fine.
Exaggerating? Would you believe that? Truman, go back! Oh my, Truman, we're on fire.
It's okay.
We're on fire.
It's okay, it's just smoke. Just smoke. You okay?
Yes.
You want to do it again?
No! Truman, stop!
What now?
Truman, looks like a leak at the plant.
Back up, back up. Leak at the plant. They had to shut her down.
Cue the sun.
What time is it?
Now I've got to try and find my car. wherever it may be. Seaside is a very, very beautiful community. It definitely appears as if I am not able to afford to live here, even though it is like that. They definitely embrace the Truman Show history here in Seaside. They have no problems with you coming, and they make all the artifacts still available from the movie. They make it easy to get to if you can figure out how to navigate through the town. That's the most difficult part. On that point, that's a Porsche we just walked by, just sitting out by the road. So obviously that means I can't afford to live here.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah.
You want another slice?
No, I'm okay.
What else is on?
Yeah, let's do what else.
Where's the TV guy?
That is all that's left here in Seaside from the Truman Show. I have spent all day here in Seaside walking these streets to get this footage, and I have one more place that I want to go tomorrow. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this one. I hope you all enjoyed this filming locations video for the 1999 Jim Carrey classic, The Truman Show. I want to thank you all for watching. I want you all to stay warm, and I'll see you again tomorrow.